The episode begins with a VNN morning show broadcast on January 6th, beginning with the announcement that VOT Studios has canceled A Train's new movie Training a Train, despite it being finished. The broadcast then shows a new #AllLivesMatter featuring Firecracker, The Deep, and Black Noir, claiming that they take responsibility for racism. However, the biggest piece is that Congress will count the electoral votes to certify President-elect Robert Singer and his VP Victoria Newman. At the warehouse, tries to rush Frenchie's work on perfecting the soup-killing virus. While waiting, he messages Huey, warning him that they need to ID the shape-shifting soup before it's too late. Now disguised as Annie, the shifter confronts Huey wearing a fancy blue gown and begins to propose to him. Huey in turn runs to the bedroom and gives her his mother's engagement ring. The two proceed to have sex, but the shifter soon realizes that her Annie disguise is beginning to deteriorate and abruptly leaves. At the hospital, Butcher is told that his blood pressure is alarmingly low, but at this point, it seems like he's accepted his fate. He imagines appearing in the hospital room, chiding him about giving up on the virus and letting Homelander win. Kessler encourages Butcher to fulfill his original plan to eliminate every soup on Earth. Right as Butcher is telling Kessler to F off, Grace Mallory enters, telling him that she still needs him, and hands him his phone. Homelander discovers the photograph of Butcher and Becca in Ryan's backpack and throws a laser-filled tantrum inside his penthouse. Ryan walks in, terrified of what he sees, and stands frozen in fear as Homelander orders him to walk towards him, telling him, "I'm your father, not him." As Homelander's anger grows, Ryan runs away. The shifter returns to Annie to regenerate her disguise, telling her that she proposed to Huey using her memories. Annie demands to know why, but the shifter brushes off the question and tells her the story of how she first shifted bodies with her preschool teacher, learning her dark secrets. The shifter mocks Annie about her traumatic past, including her pageantry days, as well as being sexually assaulted by the Deep. She tells Annie that her identity wasn't the first choice as a disguise to assassinate Singer, but her recent actions, including beating up Firecracker on live television, made her an undeniable choice. Butcher receives a call from Huey, pleading that he still needs his help. Butcher subtly tells Huey that he is dying, telling him about an old memory of a steakhouse and asking him to go in his honor. He ends the call by telling Huey to tell the boys that he is sorry. Newman appears as a guest on Firecracker's VNN show alongside Homelander, where Firecracker questions Singer's goals to pass what she claims to be anti-soup laws. As Newman begins to answer, Homelander reveals live on television that she is, in fact, a soup, and lasers her chest as proof. As Homelander walks off set, Newman angrily follows him, telling him that this revelation will get her impeached. Homelander declares that a new world means new rules. Newman responds by saying that many of the people he has working at VOT will also get incarcerated. In response, Homelander orders Ashley to get him a list of everybody at VOT who can't be trusted. Despite Homelander's revelation about Newman, the election is still certified by Congress. Watching the news broadcast, declares that it is now open season on Newman, frantically telling Frenchie to work faster. He calls Huey to leak the dirt he has on Newman, but just as he's about to make the information public, he realizes that everything that he's gathered on the VP-elect is now gone. Orders Huey and Annie to meet up with him and Kimiko. Singer addresses the nation, saying that Newman has broken his trust and that he is now calling for a new and fair election. As Butcher and Mallory watch the telecast, Ryan comes in to visit. This prompts Butcher to finally get out of his hospital bed and tell Ryan that he is dying. As Kessler warns Butcher that he's going to have to kill him, Butcher warns Ryan that he cannot return to VOT Tower and that he needs to go into hiding with Mallory. Ryan stresses that Homelander will be able to find him, but Mallory tries to promise him that he won't have to worry. Ryan is still unsure, expressing that he doesn't know whether he wants to leave, and that he enjoys aspects of living in VOT Tower. As Mallory begins to explain just how much of a threat Homelander really is, Butcher takes over the conversation. He tells the young super that his mother's dying wish was for Ryan to be safe, and that he believes he isn't safe with him, but he won't stop him either. Ryan offers to play a round of Connect 4 with Butcher, which he happily accepts. Homelander has a meeting with the remaining members of the Seven, where he informs him that Singer is set to be assassinated and that Newman will be sworn in. He claims that somebody will have to swoop in to restore order when the riots break out, Firecracker says that they plan on getting every Vought hero to surround the Capitol, the White House, and the Pentagon to show that they stand in solidarity with Newman. Homelander gives the Deep and Black Noir a list of the Vought employees with the most dirt on the team, to which the Aquatic Soup replies by asking about Ashley. Overhearing the conversation through the door, Ashley sprints through Vought Tower and into Homelander's apartment. Injecting herself with Compound V, she doubles over in pain, losing her wig as her body begins to transform. Huey, Kimiko, Singer, and Fake Annie head to an underground bunker to keep the president safe from Newman. Warns everybody that the shifter may already be inside the bunker, which makes the Fake Annie grow nervous. She tells Huey that it's like a furnace in here, which he recalls is the same thing the shifter said when they found her in the abandoned apartment, and subsequently realizes that Annie has been replaced by the shifter. Meanwhile, the real Annie breaks herself out of her handcuffs, screaming in pain, getting ready to make her escape. Realizing that she's been discovered, the shifter throws them across the room and begins to attack. She easily overpowers the Secret Service as Kimiko tries to help Singer flee the area. Kimiko is briefly able to subdue the shifter, but ends up getting her neck snapped. Just as it looks like the shifter has them cornered, the real Annie shows up and saves them, telling them to run away as she takes care of her double. Annie is able to take down the doppelganger by strangling her into unconsciousness. A panicked Newman calls Homelander, alerting him that the assassin has failed and stressing that Singer has the means to catch her. Homelander tells her that he'll kill Singer himself if it comes down to it, and that he will kill her and her daughter Zoe if she doesn't follow his orders. Frenchie completes his work on perfecting the virus just as Huey, Annie, and Kimiko return to the warehouse, disheveled. Huey tries to talk to Annie, asking her how she was able to find him. Angry, Annie berates Huey for proposing to the shifter and having sex with her. Huey tries to defend himself, stating that he fully believed it was her, but Annie won't hear it, claiming that Huey only wants her for her good side, not her imperfections. As Annie storms away, Huey gets a call from Newman, telling him that she wants out and that Homelander's plot has gone too far. Realizing that she'll only be used as a puppet for the Star-Spangled Soup, she tells him that she no longer feels safe, and is terrified for her daughter's safety. She entrusts her daughter's safety with Huey, telling him that he's the only person that she feels like she can turn to. Firecracker, the Deep, and Black Noir begin killing the terrified Vought employees who were on Homelander's list, including Ashley's assistant. Huey informs the boys about Newman's call and expresses that all of them have skeletons in their closets. He tells them that not all of their issues should end in violence and that showing mercy and forgiveness is true bravery. Frenchie, Kimiko, and Annie agree to Huey's proposal. Frenchie tells the group that he'll attempt to inject Newman with the virus if it's revealed that she's setting them up. Huey's speech finally convinces Annie to forgive him, much to his delight. Frenchie talks to Kimiko about their respective insecurities, and she responds by saying that forgiving Newman will help them in the process of finally forgiving themselves of their past actions. The two finally share a kiss, as Kimiko expresses her love for Frenchie. Back in the hospital room, Mallory reveals to Ryan that Homelander was behind the assassination attempt on Singer, and that he was also responsible for killing every passenger on board Flight 37. Butcher tries to get Mallory to stop, sensing Ryan's heightened emotions, but she continues to list Homelander's countless murders. She also reveals to Ryan that he was conceived by Homelander sexually assaulting Becca, not a secret affair. Butcher apologizes to Ryan and tells him that he's the only one strong enough to kill Homelander. Mallory attempts to get Ryan to stay, and he realizes that he's not actually in a hospital, but a government facility meant to withhold him. As Mallory reaches for a button that'll knock everybody in the room out, Ryan pushes her into a concrete wall, snapping her neck on impact and killing her instantly. Newman and Zoe arrive at the boys' safe house and tearfully agree to help them take down Vought and Homelander. Their deal is interrupted by Butcher, who waltzes in, telling Huey, "No deals." Huey pleads with Butcher to trust him for once and to step aside, but is pushed away. Tentacles begin to emerge out of Butcher's chest. He knocks Zoe out of the way and grabs Newman, killing her by ripping her in half. Huey stops the team from attacking Butcher, who promptly leaves. Homelander watches a newscast reporting on Newman's death in his destroyed penthouse. Sage waltzes in, handing Homelander a balloon pronouncing that they won. despite a few curveballs. Sage reveals that she hid part of her plan from Homelander, as the broadcasts show that Butcher and the boys are now wanted fugitives, and Singer has been arrested. After a video has leaked of him claiming that he wanted Newman dead, Sage hands Homelander a phone, telling him that Speaker of the House Calhoun is now the president and is pledging allegiance to him. Homelander questions why Sage would still do all of this for him despite him firing her, to which she responds, "To see if I could." After thanking him, Sage adds, "Next time listen to me, buckle up for phase 2. Calhoun, in his first act as president, declares martial law, deputizing hundreds of superheroes nationwide who will now report directly to Homelander. As Homelander gives a eulogy for Newman, hands out new passports to Huey, Annie, Frenchie, and Kimiko so that they can go into hiding. Homelander promises that America will be safe again and warns Starlighters to watch their backs. The episode ends with a narration from Firecracker on her show, talking about a new America. A montage reveals that Zoe has been taken to the same Red River Group home that Newman was a part of as a child. Frenchie and Kimiko are attacked by General V's Kate Dunlap and Sam Reardon, with Kate instructing Frenchie to come with her. In the airport bathroom, is attacked by Love Sausage as armed men come and handcuff him. Huey and Annie are targeted by the soup terrorist Cindy, who blocks their path by dropping a yacht in front of their car. More armed forces come and drag Huey away from Annie. As Cindy begins to intimidate Annie, she flies away from the scene. Kimiko finally begins to speak, screaming no, as Frenchie walks away from her and into a black truck. The episode concludes with Butcher driving at night, holding a vial of the virus, still envisioning Kessler, who nods in approval. Firecracker gets the final line of the episode, telling her audience, "Together, we'll make America super again." In a mid-credits scene, Calhoun leads Homelander to a bunker that holds Soldier Boy, who is still alive.